Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. As always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So I'm coming back with the last play with the kit part of the From Our Gnome to Yours, which is the current members free gift over at Hunkydory. You just have to sign up to be a member if you're not already. Pop it in your basket. That's just the kit itself. Or you can go for a deluxe kit for $12.99 and just pay the postage. Okay, I always sort of tend to go for the deluxe kit because you've got the insert and you do get a little book as well, which is quite cool. So this is what we're going to be playing with today anyway, the Cozy Christmas, where you've got the suit, the cute little Santa with his little specs on, and he's got his marshmallows there and his hot chocolate. I've got the two inserts as part of the kit. That's your printed cardstock, and oops, that one is your foiled one with the foiled snowflakes. And then with the inserts you do get the printed papers, which are double-sided, and I'm going to be using these on my first card today. So I have got a new card shape for you. It is, I would say, probably, it's not hard, but it does take some thinking about. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say. But I think I have come up with some easy ways to do it, I hope. So we will see how we get on. Now, Natalie did a version of this card yesterday. She did it with a measurement starting out with a 7" by 10. I'm going to use my 12 by 6 that I usually use. And I'm going to show you a way to, because as I'm going to do it here, it's going to fit in a 6 by 8 envelope, but I'll show you how you can amend it to go in a 6 by 6 if you prefer. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to start with my trimmer, and I'm going to keep to the 1 inches that she did. So I'm going to pop this over to the 1 inch side of my trimmer. So I've got that measurement there, and I'm going to cut from 1 to 6. And I'm going to turn it around and cut from 6 to 1. Okay, and then I'm going to put my blade out the way, and I'm going to do these measurements again on the board anyway, but I'm just going to give myself a bit of a help here by showing me where I need to be scoring. So these first scores are going to be in the middle of these cut lines. So I've put my cardstock up to the 1 inch, and if I press down in the middle of my cutting board there, on my trimmer, it gives me a mark, a sort of faint score line, and I can make it more pronounced in on the Hunkydory board in a minute. So I'm doing that at 1, at 2, and at 6. I just found it was easier than trying to get my ruler, especially on that 1 inch one. It's the hardest one to get sort of straight, and I found that my card didn't really fold as straight as I wanted to without it. So now I can see where that line is. I can just go in on my board, just find the groove and put that in nice and deep for me. Okay, so we've got 1 inch between the lines, 2 inch between the lines, and 6 inch. And then outside the lines, I'm going to go at 5. I'm going to turn it over and go at 5 again. And then at 7 inches, we're going all the way along. Okay, so that's what you should end up with. And let's pop that down. We shouldn't need that again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that in there, give that a bend. This is coming up as a mountain. That one is going in. Okay, and then what we should be able to do, just gently start easing this into position and down. And then I can give all these lines a really good burnish down. Don't forget to do the one underneath as well, so they get nice crisp creases. And then when the card sits on a shelf, it's going to sit like that. Okay, it'll fold up like this to go in your envelope. So this is what I mean by 6 by 8. If you wanted to go in a 6 by 6 envelope, you need to cut this at the 7-inch mark. No, it's not 7. Let me just bring in my template one. I think it's 10-inch. Yeah, so you cut it at the 10-inch, and then that one will fold to go in a 6 by 6. But I'm using this one that's going to go by 6 and then 6 by 8 today. Okay, so that's our base of our card. Hopefully I've not confused you too much. Let's bring in the trimmer. Okay, so the foiling on the kit is gold, so I need some gold foiled card. I'm going to be using Miri mats. I'm going to start with my biggest mat first of all, which is going to be this one, which is 5 by 6. So of course, actually what I'm going to do is just take an inch, 2 notches off the inch of this first of all. Just, it's going to be easier to take that than try and cut it off that little bit that's left over. So we're going 2 notches under the 5, 2 notches under the 6, and that's going to be our piece that fits onto our back piece there. Okay, so this 1-inch piece, I'm going to cut this to 1 by 6, so there needs to be 2 notches under the 6. So it's 2 notches under 1, 2 notches under 6. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place today. No, it's going to be 2 notches under 5. That's what I thought it was, but I've written 6 on the template. So let's see. Okay, so that's going to go on to there. And then this piece here, I'm going to need another piece of 2 notches under 1. And I'm going to need 2 more, I believe. So if I take those 2, this piece in the middle is 4 inches. So if I take that to 2 notches under the 4 and 2 notches under the 4, I should be able to get some of my 1-inch pieces out of that. So that's that piece there. These pieces here, so we've got one of the 5. I want another one which is 1 by 5. I'm going to recap all of these at the end, so please don't worry. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 pieces that are 1 by 4. So again, I'm going to take 2 notches under the 4. Hopefully I should be able to get them out of there. So there. This is going to be the tricky one. Let's use a bit of tape to keep that in place. Like I said, there is some little fiddly bits on here, but hopefully not too fiddly. Okay, and then here there is a piece that's 1 by 2. So let's have a look at that. That's going to be that first one. I'm just going to find a little scrap in my big box for the next one, the smallest one. So, oh yeah, that's going to be big enough. So I'm just going to take 2 notches under the 1. Actually, I might not be able to use this one. No, it's fine. It's the same colour. So this is one of the, I think this might have come from a pound shop that Mum's got. So I could just tell by the backing this slightly different colour. I think you can just about pick that up. Okay, so now we've got all of our pieces. So let's just go over those again. So this piece was 5 by 6. This one was 4 by 4. Then I've got 2 pieces that are 1 by 5. I've got 3 pieces that are 1 by 4, inside there, and then I've got 2 pieces that are 2 by 1. or just under. You know, I take it 2 notches under. Okay, so let's just move those out of the way. So for the majority of these pieces on the front, these smaller pieces, I'm going to be using my papers. Just because we've got them there, we might as well use them rather than cutting into the cardstock. With there being quite a few little pieces, it just makes sense to use the paper. So move that out of the way. I need to do, let's go 3/4 of an inch. So it's still on the other side, it's going to be easier. So I've got a bit more stability with that edge there. Okay. And then I'm going to take that to 4 3/4 for one of those there. Let's see what you measure. You are too short for anything else, so I'm going to take this one to 1 3/4, and that's going to go, if I can pick it up, on one of those pieces there. So I'm going to come in and do exactly the same again. So 3/4 of an inch. Again, I need a piece of 4 3/4, and again I'm going to take that other bit down to 1 3/4. That one so we don't get confused. And then next I need 3 pieces of 1 by 4. So I'm going to go to 3/4 of an inch again. I suspect I might get 2 out of this one. So we need to go to 3 3/4. Yeah. And then I just need 1 more. So 3/4 of an inch. Put that out of the way. 3 3/4. I've got that piece there. I'm just going to put that in the bin because I don't think that's going to come in for anything else. So that is those there. Now for the main image, I want to use the actual printed cardstock. So I'm going to come in with this one here. I know this piece here is 4 by 4. I want that to be the feature of my card, and I'm going to have insert paper on the back so that it can still be used as a normal card. So if I go to 3 3/4, I am quite close to his little arm there. So what I'm going to do is just come over, probably go to about 4 inches. Pop that away. And then I'm just going to turn that around. Actually, what I'll do is I'll do the length first. So we need to go to 3 3/4. That way I'm going to be cutting off his head. So let's take this piece under the table. And then if I go to 3 3/4 again, I've got most of his hat in. And then I can go to 3 3/4. Let's take some that way. Let's take a little bit more that way. Just trying to get it as central as I can. That's much better. So this is my piece that's going to go as my main topper. Nice and flat. And I've still got a decent piece of card there. What I might do, I don't know if I might come in and swap a piece of this out, but I don't think so. So the next thing I want is the insert. And I'm going to have to use the guillotine for this one. It just cuts better on the guillotine. And again, that back piece there is 5 by 6. So if I go to 4 3/4, you can see I've got my lovely Mr. Gnome there, and then we're going by 5 3/4. That is going to fit it in there. So we've got another piece of insert paper left over. Okay. So, sorry about the creaky chair. Let's start getting this assembled. So let's pop you out. We'll pop you to the sides. Okay, so the glues I'm going to be using today, as always, I've got the Clow all-purpose glue in there. I've got the Collal tacky glue in this white one, and I'm going to be using the Crafter's Companion glue dots pen on the papers, because obviously paper is not good with the all-purpose glue. Not the all-purpose glue, the tacky glue, because of the content, the water content. So this is card to card, so I can just come in and pop this on. And I'm consciously trying to keep it quite flat on here so that it all folds up nicely. So there's not going to be a lot of dimension in this central bit. There will, you know, I'll put some pearls and things on this other bit, but where it's going to be folded, I'm going to try and keep it as flat as I can. So for this insert paper, glue dots in the corners, all-purpose glue in the middle, just to give me that piece of wiggle room time. Straighten that out so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to give that a really good press down, just to make sure that all that glue is nicely flattened out. There we go. And then let's come in with our other big piece. So this is card to card now. Oops, should be filled with glue bottles really. I might do that before I start my second card. And I'm not sure what the name of this card is. I think Natalie called it like a Z fold, but I've seen it on Pinterest called a bookshelf card. But it's definitely a fun fold, so I'm just going to be putting it as a fun fold. If you have heard other names of it, feel free to let me know. Again, just giving that a nice press down, making sure my borders are all nice and even. That's the beauty of that glue combination, is that it can sort of does give you a little while to get things in the right place. So let's do these two pieces first, I think. Do we want to do them that way? No, we'll do them with the red on here. So the snowflakes and the stars, I mean, they're all red. A bit tongue-tied today, I don't know what's going on. Some days I just talk better than others, do you know what I mean? I didn't get much done yesterday. I was hoping to sort of finish up the rest of the last little play I had, because there was a couple of toppers left on there. But my sister came around with my little great niece, so I hadn't seen her in a while, and she's sort of, we had a little talk with her. Super cute, growing like a weed like they do. She's eating normal food, well, not all the time, obviously she's only 6 months, but she still do a little thing for being born so early, because she was born January and she wasn't due until March 10th, and she was born right at the end of January. She was actually born on the anniversary of my nan passing away. My nan passed away on the 31st of January. And yeah, she was born on that day. So my sister is like, oh, well, because normally some of us, whether it's me or my sister or my other sister, we go down to the grave and take her some flowers, you know, just, it's been a long time, you know, but still she was very special to us, so we like to go and remember her on those days, her birthday and the day she passed away. Sometimes we go up on her funeral day as well. That was mid-February, but it's not a date we're ever going to forget now, not her birthday as well. Okay, and then these pieces will go with that dark red. So let's pop it on there, Probably would have been just as well to go with the dotty tape pen on all of it for this sort of size, but if I can make things difficult for myself, usually I do. I was going to do it on the other side for that, but never mind. I've done it that side now. It's all going to look nice anyway. So, okay, and these bits are around the side. So if you didn't want to do these 1x2 bits, they're not really that visible. So if you wanted to just leave those, you could do. Okay, so now we've got cardstock on the back of that paper. We can go ahead and start sticking it on with our normal glues. So I'm going to go with the bigger pieces first. Put that across. And even this piece here, if you didn't, oops, slide in a lot. If you didn't want to decorate that piece there, you could miss one of those 1x4 pieces out. Because it's folded forward on the shelf, you wouldn't really see it. But I'll just do them all, and then you've got the option of leaving out what you want to. Okay, and then this piece is going to go on the top. Little press down, and then these ones are on the side. Again, it's got a bit of tape on there for that what do you call it, my stencil tape, but it's not going to make any difference. It's still going to glue on quite nicely. So you can see it really coming together now. It's quite a nice little card. If I say little, 6x8, it's quite big really, isn't it? But I still think even if you cut this down to the 10-inch long and have it as a 6x6, you're still going to get that insert in there. You may have to sort of centre it up like I did with him, but you will get it on there, so that they've got somewhere to write. If you wanted to put more decorative paper there, you could do, and then just have an insert on the back piece instead. I don't think it's going to matter if there's a little bit of writing there. I think, look at that, done the wrong glue in the wrong place, never mind. It's going to be one of those days, guys. It's going to be one of those days. And I've got a little bit of all-purpose glue on the gold there, but what I'm going to do is just let that dry, because it will dry clear, and probably can cover it up with something else. Let's just put a little bit of that. Strings everywhere. And there, we'll pop that onto there. Okay, so that's how our card is going to look when it comes out of the envelope. That's what they're going to see. When it's on the shelf, that's what they're going to see, obviously with your writing there. Let's bring the toppers in. We need a sentiment. We might use some of the other bits. So we've got a little present there, so we'll use that little present somewhere. And I think have a cozy Christmas. If you wanted to put some toppers on, you could do. Maybe I should come in with one of these little ones. So maybe this one would fit in quite nicely at the top there. I think, is that going to, no, I can have a little bit of dimension on that as well. Just that one's sliding around, which is annoying me. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one. Do we want it coming across? Do we want it coming across the image? I'm going to have that one up there. I'm going to have this one on the edge down here. Needs trimming though. Okay, and I'm just going to get some foam pads ready. Okay, so I'm just bringing these 1mm foam pads in. And I'm just going to pop. And these are the Affix-It ones that I'm using today. This is them dropping on the floor. I told you I was a bit. Right, So let's grab my scissors, and on the back of this one, because it's coming across, what I'll do is just pop that on there, and then we'll pop that one across there, and then I just want a slightly smaller pad on here. For my present. So let's do this one first of all. So just be careful where you're putting things so that you're not creating sort of bulk where you don't want it to be, would be my advice on this one. Just make sure you're not, just do some bits on there that I can see, sort of compromising your creases. I'm just going to pop a bit of tacky glue on there just in case we need to move that a little bit. Straight. And this one I'm going to come down. I'm actually not going to put it on this corner. I might try on this corner here. Can't see that from there. Okay, so that's how we are looking at the moment. So let's grab some pearls. I think it might come with the blue ones because we've got quite a lot of red on there. So let's go with these ones, I think. And I'm going to pop 3 on here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll go with that size actually. I'm in an arm whether to go a little smaller. Just be careful as well with pearls as well, because they are quite tall, and your gems, so they can interfere with a crease as well. So just be careful is what I would say. And that is all I'm going to do on that one. So that is my finished card number 1, with our little well, we're going to call it a bookshelf card for now, unless somebody lets me know it's called something else. But I quite liking that. It's the first time I've done that one. I will do a template for you. I'll do a template with the 10-inch and the 12-inch, so you've got both there just in case you want to mix up your options. These measurements will all be the same on for a 6-inch envelope and an 8-inch envelope. It's just literally going to be this piece here that will be bigger. Okay, so let me just get sorted out for card number 2. Okay, so just to rest my brain after that previous card, I'm going to come in this time with a 6x6, just a normal 10th fold card. So let's bring in the trimmer. Just going to do my usual mats on it, which is going to be the 2 notches under the 6 and 2 notches under the 6. And that should fit quite nicely onto there, and it does. And then if I bring in the foiled cardstock, but I'm not using the foiled part, I'm using this brown sort of starred part. And I'm going to cut that to 5 3/4. That's going to be my base. So we've got our piece there. Obviously remember, you could, if you've got a star embossing folder, any other snowflake embossing folder, you could always put that through. If you've got a stencil, you can use your stencil to emboss them if you've got an embossing machine. So that is that piece there. Then if I bring in this cardstock from before, and I am going to do just a narrow little border across it. I'm going to go with the inch, and that's going to need to be 5 3/4. And because I haven't used as much on that last card of the actual cardstock, I can do that. Now if I grab a little scrap of gold, and I'm just going to take that to 1 and 2 notches, she says. There we go. Just being a little awkward, and then 5 3/4 is too short. Maybe we should check that first. Let's see what that one is. No, too short. Got to be a little piece here. There we go. That's got to be long enough. Right, so 5 3/4 by 1 2 notches. And that should fit onto there quite nicely. And it does. That is all we need, I believe, for that one. So I'm just going to grab some red liner tape there ready. Okay, so let's pop our layers together. So this is going onto our gold piece. I'm using the biggest topper on the sheets for this one, so it is going to fill up pretty much most of this card. So you're not really going to see a whole lot of the detail, but I just like to put it there. I know it's there. And I was umming and ahhing what sort of type, because I hadn't decided on what sort of second card to do. I was umming and ahhing which one to do, and I was thinking about doing like this sort of like 2-step card, or maybe an easel card. So just going to take some red liner tape, and then I decided to take it easy and just do a nice simple but stunning card. Henry's had all of his new balls now, so it keeps moving, which is annoying. It's not supposed to do that once I've got the tacky glue on. I just want to get this. I've got this lovely navy ribbon that I found when I was sorting things out. So what I was trying to do yesterday before we ended up having a visitor was I dragged all of my stencils out. And I was putting them all in a file folder. Got a load of, I started it on Sunday actually, Sunday evening. And I'm just trying to get them sorted. So I got quite a few, you know, obviously over the years, you sort of amount them, don't you? And I just wanted to be able to just flick through, pick out the one I want, pop it back, and then also it's easier to see what I've got. I did put it there just to make sure that doesn't fray. Right, so we're going to come across this middle part, just put that onto there. We need to be just a little lower. I think that should be around about straight, and then I can pop this on so we've got our little card blank decorated. I'm quite fond of doing like a little bar across the middle of some kind of contrasting papers or cardstock, because it sort of centres the eye on the card. I think that's quite nice. Okay, let's bring back our toppers. So I'm going to save him for another card. So let's see what we're going to do with our little Marshmallow Man again. So the only topper I've used really is Marshmallow Man, isn't it? Insert and topper. Right. So it just shows you've got 2 cards out of just this one sort of image really, with the printed back cardstock and insert and everything. So do I want all of these layers? I was kind of thinking I probably would. but let's pop them all out because I do like to give them different heights and things. I'm just being careful not to put them because it is quite a thin one. So we could, let's put that into there. Come over to that side. The other one we're going to have to use is this Warmest Wishes. So it does look rather cosy and warm. Here's lovely hat with his hot chocolate. I don't know where he's having this hot chocolate. I mean, you'd assume he's got a table there. You'd assume he was in his house. But obviously, with the heating costs these days, even the names have been affected. They've got to wear their hot clothes inside. Okay, so I think I'll pop that behind there a little bit. So let's pop that down flat. Stay still. Okay, so I'll put that down nice and flat, and that way it doesn't affect how I do any of these. So I'm thinking probably we need to start with this outer one. Oh, I want that coming over. So let's come in. What one shall we do? Shall we go 1mm? Let's go 1mm. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to chop these up again. And hopefully there's going to be enough to go over the whole thing. We've got some Halloween kits coming at them towards the end of the week, haven't we, from Hunkydory? Got the magazine. Is that tomorrow? I think maybe. I got mine already. It is another Christmas kit for those who are looking for something a bit different. Apologies. It is very nice though, and it is matte-tastic, so you know I'm gonna love it. So I will have a play with that some point in the very near future. I've got so many kits still to play with. I've still got those penguins. I've got the Enchanted Winter one, I think, with the silver foiling. That's really nice, and I like that, and that would be perfect for you guys in the States as well, I think, because there are a lot of smaller toppers on there for you guys that like to make smaller cards, and you know, make the most of it, the cardstock and everything. Because I know there is a lady, and I can't remember the name of it now, but I did subscribe to her recently. I found her over there in the States, who she was crafting with the Blockbuster, and she was taking the big sheets, the A4 sheet, you know, the sort of printed and the foiled cardstock, and she was turning them into 4 cards. So she was getting sort of 4, sort of more or less 4x6-ish cards out of them, and then adding the toppers on some of them and things. Can't remember, I think it's 2 people on the channel, but I've only ever seen her. I can't remember the name of her, bless her. But yeah, I really did enjoy watching what she was doing with it. So that silver foil kit, that holographic foil kit, I'm sure it's Enchanted Winter it's called. That has got, I think it's got 1 page with a load of smaller toppers on, which is perfect for anyone really that wants to make smaller cards. I think yeah, I am going to just it's not going to be flat because of that border, but I am going to just put tacky glue over it, and you can see I can't go in a straight line to save my life. Oops. There we go. Let's pop then this one will come in with the 2mm pads. Just pop these on. Those are cut in half, so we'll leave those. And again, these are the Affix-It ones. Oops, that I've been using. There are still some Hunkydory ones floating around, and I am using them up as I find them, because it doesn't do any good to be sat in here where it's warm at the minute. When sort of as the weather's changing now, it's going to start to get cooler in here. This is probably the coldest room of the house, even though there's a radiator in here. Okay, let's pop you in. That's you. Do we want a bow? No, I'm not going to go with a bow. What I do want is bring these blue pearls back in. I'm going to go with 3 and maybe 5. So let's do 1, 2. Let's go across this way for a change. I'm actually going to go start in the middle. There we go. We've got some out. And I think these pearls, I got them from Temu, but I think they are supposed to be like nail gems, but I can't see how it would be comfortable to have a gem of that size on your nail. Do you know what I mean? It's like huge. But I'm not that type of person that likes doing the nails. My older sister is. But it's not for me. Not for me. I'd rather spend my money on craft stuff, to be honest. But those look lovely, and she goes and gets them done every now and then. Shows me. I suppose it's quite nice. She can theme them like she had like the little. There's a suicide emblem, a comma. It's a semicolon, I think. She had those on her nails for a while. Obviously that needs an insert in, but that's our second card. So let's bring it in so you can see this Marshmallow and Hot Chocolate Man gnome in all his glory. So that is all of the kit kind of worked with on video. What I am going to do, I did say I wanted to come back and do maybe a project video with the little book with this, because I know you guys struggle sometimes with ideas for the little book. I struggle sometimes, but the project that I'm thinking of might be a great idea for them books, because it doesn't matter how many you use, and some bits need to be flat and some bits don't, so it could be quite a cool project if I can get the dimensions right on it. But that's it for today, so thank you so much for watching. And I will be back in a couple of days with the little book. But until then, happy crafting. Bye.